Hello Aries, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot. It is time for May Tarotscopes, and I have got the Curious Travels Tarot deck this time, and then we'll also add a quick pull from the Familiar Field Oracle. It's an Animal Wisdom Oracle deck. Super cute. I love the artwork on this one. So as always, this is a general reading for a general Aries audience. So it's not the same as a one-to-one reading. You might really resonate with all of it. You might resonate here and there. I invite you to hang on to what resonates and please leave the rest for another Aries. And of course, please check out the videos for all of your major placements, your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign for the most resonant package. All right. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the tarot deck for you. If you have been here before, you know I like to fast forward over the shuffling part so I can just focus on that. And I'll catch up with you as I'm about to lay out the cards. I'll see you there. Okay, Aries, let's see what we've got. Eight of Pentacles. Five of Swords, move that just for a second. 10 of Cups and 5 of Wands. And I have to say, this did jump out while I was shuffling, so I'm not surprised to see this here. So we've got double 5 energy in the reading. Let's get this all in frame here. Yeah, okay. And then let's pull and, okay. So we've got jellyfish. Let's see. Entanglement, feeling pain. Not to panic, but it does sort of echo the 5 cards here. So not to worry, we've got beautiful energy in the 8 and the 10 of Cups. So we've got resolution, but there's some, lessons, some stuff to work out in the 5s. So we'll do the tarot first, and we'll draw in the oracle card as appropriate. So first things first, with this 5 of Wands that that did pop out as I was shuffling. 5 energy is all about change, and sometimes change can be chaotic. Aries tends not to be fearful of change, but sometimes you go out looking for it, right? You do tend, most Aries, depending on what else is going on in your chart, of course, but oftentimes you're ready to meet a change or a challenge head on. But this particular 5 does indicate that there can be some ego issues going on around you. Sometimes there can be a lot on your plate that adds to kind of the chaos and perhaps conflict with sort of the ego needs with folks around you. This could be family, this could be co-workers, this could be, folks that want to have a vote or a voice in something, or want to be recognized in some way that you would kind of rather just move on from, or get on with your own sort of business and not have to be bothered with this kind of chaos or conflict. So there is a bit of This is why we consult the tarot, right? Just for this little heads up, a little reminder that there are some ego needs around you. So you may have to just slow down a little bit just for your own sanity to recognize some individuals around you. It will actually, as much as you want to move forward with some other pieces for your own sanity, it will actually help you if you recognize these other folks, if you give validation or credence to these voices or these other sort of roles around you. This does have kind of a co-workery vibe, but for some of you it could be family, kids, even siblings. Sometimes this does come up in I usually use the example like when your sister's getting married and the bridesmaids all are having feelings about the dresses or the shoes, or somebody doesn't want to shave their armpits, or the mother-in-law to be has some strong feelings about the color palette, that kind of a thing where everybody wants a vote, or somebody who's not putting in any money to the wedding is saying, well, you have to invite all of these cousins that we haven't seen for 25 years, or they'll be really offended. Well, so there can be this kind of a tricky balancing act when this card comes up about acknowledging people's opinions and ego needs, but still staying true to kind of your own day and the truth of your own vision for a thing, a project, whatever it is. It could be your wedding. It could be your own, theatrical vision. It could be, something you're launching, whatever it is. It's going to be different for different Aries, right? But other people seem to want to have a piece of you or want to have a voice. And so there's just a bit of entanglement or chaos, or as, our jellyfish over here says, entanglement, feeling, pain. Folks are feeling, enmeshed in kind of your deal. Now, I'm going to move off from this for a little bit. We'll probably come back to this. But, another reason why I say this feels a little bit more work-related, co-workery-ish, is because the Eight of Pentacles is, of course, typically about work, a work-related thing. You can see the central character here. Let's get this person in focus. There we go. This character is making their widgets or their who'sy what's it's a craftsperson, right? Very hard at work, and they have made a number of their art pieces or crafts, whatever this is. They have made a lot. They have a lot of orders, if you will, and this can be a metaphor. Even if you aren't a crafts person, this could be the sort of thing where you're getting a lot of followers. If you're like a social media influencer person, or if you're some sort of gig worker, you could be getting new contracts, or however it is, even if you just work a 9 to 5 or you flip burgers, it could just be the sort of thing where you've got plenty of work to do and you're recognized for your artistry or your diligence or whatever it is. And, there's also a piece about the Eight of Pentacles where, when you put effort and, attention and sort of love yourself, your soul into your work, you really produce good work. if you are someone who does like Etsy, or you create content or whatever, the more you kind of put your love into your work, the more you sell, the more followers you get, so there is this piece about not just working on, what do you call it, like autopilot, but like really investing yourself into it. The more you kind of invest yourself and put your love into your craft, the more you practice, the more you develop your skills, the more customers or clients or followers or whatever you get. I think you understand what I'm saying there, but there's this feeling with whatever this is, that whatever is true for your job or industry, or however you increase your resources, or perhaps your standing, it could also be the kind of thing where even if you don't have a job, this could be the way that you're recognized, a talent is recognized, even if you don't have like a job or a career per se. If you're someone who is retired, but you spend a lot of time in your garden, it could be the sort of thing where you get recognized for having the best garden in the neighborhood or something like that. So it's sort of a recognition card for the hard work and the talent, and like that. So putting your effort and your love into your craft or your hobby or your job or whatever it is increases your resources, your recognition, validation, that sort of thing. So on the other side of that, we have another 5, and kind of like we talked about with the 5 of Wands, the 5 of Swords is not the happiest looking card. Let's get that, see if we can get that a little more in focus. Kind of. Yeah, this character looks like they've been through it, right? This is kind of, this is kind of being in the, if this is kind of being in the middle of a little bit of a conflict, maybe we should put them kind of side by side. Maybe that makes sense. Where's the, where are you focusing? Let's see. No, there we go. That's a little better. So if the 5 of Wands is like being in the middle of a sort of a bit of a conflict, the 5 of Swords is kind of like the aftermath, right? Kind of cleaning up after the argument or something. And that's what the 5 of Swords typically represents. Like when you realize, I really said something I shouldn't have said, or you know what, I think I misunderstood their point of view. And it indicates a time when you're like, maybe I should apologize, or maybe I should clarify what was said, or maybe I should go back and read that email that I sent, because maybe I wasn't clear enough, or maybe I should reread what they sent to me, because I might have flown off the handle and it's one of those kind of things. So a 5 of Swords tends to indicate there's some kind of misunderstanding, or information wasn't fully, you didn't get all the facts you needed, and maybe somebody made a hasty decision, and something didn't quite go to plan because all of the facts weren't in, or somebody got upset, or maybe there's a little argument or something, or somebody's feelings were hurt because somebody misunderstood something. But the good news is, the only thing that's missing here is information, and clarity will resolve the situation. So it's the call to have a sit down when, cooler heads can prevail, and when you can apologize and say, maybe I didn't understand you, or maybe I wasn't clear, or maybe you I think you get what I'm saying there. It's the sort of thing where it's probably a good idea to and it could be maybe you're the one who misunderstood, or maybe you're the one who can mediate a situation. Maybe you need to help other people come to an understanding. But the good news is, after this sort of conversation or coming together or mediation, is the 10 of Cups indicates a very happy time of coming together and a new beginning. Oops, let's see if we can get this in. There we go. It's kind of an ending and a beginning. A new chapter begins. The Cups are the suit of emotions, of emotional connections. It's families, it's sort of romantic relationships as that applies. But it's new starts. It's happiness. It's joy. It can be celebrations. It can be a refreshing sort of new beginning. So it indicates a time when, this sort of, whatever this chaos and conflict is, the misunderstanding has been resolved. The maybe ego conflict, whatever has that perhaps caused this confusion or misunderstanding has been diffused, and there's a new beginning. So the thing about the jellyfish is it's very sensitive. It's very delicate. It floats along in the water. It's very sensitive to things like temperature fluctuations, right? Like the heat of the ego flare-ups. It's very sensitive to the toxicity in the environment it's floating in, right? So I get the feeling that for most of you, that this jellyfish is going to come to you to help resolve its toxicity situation. But, that doesn't mean that you're oblivious to the toxicity, right? Like, you're still going to be affected by it. But the good news is that there's other, things to look forward to, this sort of validation through your work or a recognition of your talent. And also by the end of it, it looks like the sort of emotional ties are validated and renewed and celebrated. So I hope that's helpful, Aries. Thank you so much for dropping by. If you've enjoyed this reading, I hope you'll consider liking or sharing, subscribing, leaving a comment in any case. Take good care. Until next time, bye for now.